Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
The Houston Astros are world champions for the first time in franchise history.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
This is the Legends 34 Sports Podcast with your hosts, K. Reno and DJ Rec.
Survivors of Hurricane Barrel, right?
We here. We made it. We made it.
Legends 34, episode 14, huh? Maybe it's the lucky one, huh? Maybe we finally get it right this time? And first things first, the NBA, right?
Yeah,
so
no
much
doubt.
to talk about, so much to get caught up on the NBA. One of the first big stories is that Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
He set the
Got
new bar.
that money. Got that money, man.
$300 million for 5 years.
Yeah, I never been the best person in math in my life, but I had to sit down and do the thing in my mind. I said, man, it's 60, like 60 something a year. And we was talking about this a while back, how when Magic Johnson first signed the 25 years or the $1 million a year, I remember being a little boy when that happened. That was like mind-blowing that the dude was getting $1 million a year to play back. Now you got a guy that's getting $60 million a year.
Right.
When you think about Oscar Robertson, Bill Russell, Bob Cousy, you can name Elgin Baylor. They didn't make that amount combined in their whole careers.
Even with endorsements.
Yeah, which wasn't many back in them days, but it just goes to show, man, yeah, the money is through the roof. I'm glad these guys make it and get as much as you can because I'm being in the music business, I'm always thinking along the same lines, like, well, if a record label can pay an artist $20 million to sign a deal or whatever, then how much is he making? You know, so if they can give him $315, $314 or whatever he got, then it ain't hurting them. Get your money. Because they just gave Jaylen Brown the biggest.
Also a big
before
contract.
That.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's crazy.
And also, it's noteworthy that usually how those contracts are structured, like the first few years is going to be 50 or something, but towards the back end, it's going to be what's probably close to $70 million a year.
Yeah,
you remember the James Harden deal?
Right,
it was almost $60 million he was getting paid. I think.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's like, man, but get your money, man. I ain't mad at him at all. Get your money because the money is there. But even when you look at these guys that's making 20, 25, I remember when people started getting 20, 25, 30 a year. That was like, so now Harden signs a 2-year deal with the Clippers for I think 2 years for 70.
Right.
So he getting 35.
Wow.
And you got people saying, well, you know, that's kind of low end. I'm like, what? It's like, because he still sees himself as a max player, but so it's like they basically saying he settled for 30-something a year. It's like, dude, that's unheard of, man. But
Well, Clay with the Mavs, which is another development, I think he got 30 for 2 years, 35 for 2 years. Like Klay Thompson, James Harden, like do these work out, or are these or this is just what Klay Thompson wanted to make so he could get on the team?
Yeah, and it's about the organizations too. You know, the franchise. You know, you look at a dude like Steve Ballmer who owns the Clippers. He's the richest owner. He might be the richest owner in all of sports. He's definitely the richest owner in basketball. You know, I know the NBA have a salary cap, but you know, for whatever reason, he felt like he would be more willing to pay than maybe Cuban or whoever the new people are coming in. Because I hear Cuban is selling the Mavericks, so a lot of new people coming in. So you know, everything is relative to the situation. Clay felt disrespected by Golden State, which all these years, you know, he felt like, hey man, y'all can't give me some back end love. I know I ain't the same guy, but y'all have done that before, and different organizations have done it. So he felt like I'd be better off somewhere else,
Right.
and that happens to great players. People get upset when great players that have been with an organization all their career towards the back end, they end up leaving. Going
Dream.
everybody. I don't care who if you name out of all the great players who ever played in the league in sports, period, 90% of them at some point ended up leaving. It's only a handful of John Stocktons and Reggie Millers and Kobe's and Tim Duncans. You're not gonna get that Bird and Magic. I don't care if you Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I don't care if you Shaquille O'Neal. Like I said, Akeem Olajuwon. Michael Jordan played for the Wizards, bro.
Yeah.
Joe Montana played for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's gonna happen. Tom Brady went to the Bucks.
Right.
It just inevitable that at some point you gonna go. People don't remember Emmitt Smith playing for the Cardinals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Peyton Manning playing for the. It's just the way of sports in the business side. That's all it is.
And a lot of other moves happening throughout the league. You got Paul George went to the 76ers. I think that's going to make them better. I don't know what the situation with Tobias Harris is. They're keeping him. He's moving. I always felt that they kind of underappreciated him in a while. I think he's a great talent. I don't know if the Sixers ever made the most of his talent, but I'd love to have him as a Rocket. But that's a side note. But I'm not a big
Tobias Harris fan, to be honest with you. It's like he got handed the keys to be the second option. The second option behind Embiid long before Harden was there, long before Maxey got drafted and developed, and when Jimmy Butler came, Jimmy Butler moved in that spot, and one of the biggest mistakes that they made was they picked Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
So he's had moments, but my problem I have with him is that even once they added a Harden, once they added Tyrese Maxey, whatever, he still, in my opinion, he didn't even step up to be that third guy. Because now, if it's me, I'm looking at it like, oh, well, they worry about Embiid, they worry about Maxey. I can eat because they ain't really focusing on me. The game plan on it running so deep. But now this might sound, well, I don't think it's going to sound crazy. I would bring Tobias Harris off the bench if they still keep him.
Right.
Because Paul George, they basically play the same position. So if Tobias Harris is coming off my bench, he automatically becomes my best player in my second unit.
Right.
And that may give him more opportunities to eat, more opportunities. So that's what I would do with him. But, but even Paul George got to show something because, like you said, talent-wise, it looked good, but Paul George got a history, a playoff history that's slightly, barely above James Harden.
Right, kind of.
It's a lot of times he don't come through, so
right.
It's no excuse. It's not just a given that because he went to them that all of a sudden Philly is a lot, to come out because Boston's still set. MB got an injury history, so man, I don't know, man.
And Chris Paul now ends up with the Spurs to be a tutor or mentor, if you will, to Wemby. I think that's a great fit. Yeah. He's going to win. He's going to learn how to win basketball, right? Yeah. Period. I mean, everywhere Chris Paul's went, he's won. He's got them teams into the playoffs, and not even mentioned in MVP races. It's ridiculous, right? Who knows if they even get the Spurs in the playoffs? I mean, I'm asking a lot here, but Chris Paul knows how to win. They call him the point guard for a reason, right? And what better way to win or learn the game than from Chris Paul? I think that's a great move.
And you got to remember, too, they signed Harrison Barnes.
Yes.
So that's another good piece that they added. And they still have a lot of those young guys that they was developing, like Vassell, and I think they still got Johnson, a couple of those other guys that they were developing. So, and they drafted Stephon Castle.
Yes.
The young guy. So they still need a little bit more. They might be kind of coming in that realm of where the Rockets was last year, where they on that cusp of play-in, maybe fighting for a playoff. But yeah, man, Chris Paul, man, I respect Chris Paul because I think that a long time ago he could have just said, well, I'll go to Boston and just play backup point guard and get me a ring. Or I'll go to the Nuggets he could have been did that. But like you just said, everywhere he goes, if the team is down, they improve.
They win.
Last year might have been the only year where that impact wasn't there. But as far as making the game easier for Wemby, he's definitely going to do that, because I watched YouTube compilations last season where it looked like, I can't say it was, it looked like a lot of times he was open and his teammates wasn't giving it to him.
Right.
But in defense of them, who was the Spurs point guard last year?
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, so to me, they didn't have a playmaker that knew exactly how to set. They had a bunch of young guys that could score. So Chris Paul is definitely going to get everybody where they need to be. And I saw Wemby's stats yesterday. I was watching some show. Man, that dude averaged 21 and 10 last year. Mm-hmm. You know that, man. You don't get too many cats coming in the league. That's in the Elijah Wan, David Robinson, Shaquille O'Neal range, Ewing, those kind of guys coming in the league, averaging 20 and 10 that rookie year like that. Man. So,
3 blocks a game,
3
or
blocks,
whatever it is,
close to 4.
Yeah, just crazy.
So, barring injury, man, that dude might be up in the 27, 28, 12, 13 boards this year.
We love you, Wemby. Just don't take the Rocket spot, man. That's ours.
Hey, man, look.
leave us alone, man. We're trying to get in there.
I love Wemby as a talent. My thought just always something just eats at me like, boy, what if we would have got that?
Why?
Right now. They'd have made the playoffs last year if they had it. But just, oh, my gosh, boy.
Some ping-pong balls, huh?
What if, man? Yeah. Rigged up ping-pong.
I think I've covered pretty much all the free agency, unless I've missed one.
Yeah. People moving around. I saw where Pat Beverly he going to play overseas this year. He not going to do that.
Really? That's it, huh?
Yeah, but he may come back. But they said that his words was they offered him a deal that he couldn't say no to. Now you know he had that suspension coming into this year for throwing that basketball in the crowd. But yeah, I think he's going to play in I think it's Israel or something. He's going to play ball. So yeah, Pat Beverly's jumping overseas, and got a few other little low-key signings and trade rumors that's circulating around. But
glad you brought that up. And one of those was Kevin Durant to the Rockets.
Yeah.
I'm dying to know your opinion on that.
My opinion is I love Kevin Durant. I don't want to give up not even 2 of our young core pieces, our future. I don't even want to give up 2 for him. So if they would say, give us Jalen Green and
Eason.
No, I ain't doing that. No combination. I mean, give us Whitmore and no, I'm not doing it, because I think that if they keep these kids together for as long as they can, they're gonna grow and develop into a hard team to beat and a deep team. Because as it stands right now, if the lineup is the same as it was last year, I don't know what it's going to be. You got Tari Eason, Amen Thompson, Cam Whitmore, just those 3 coming off your bench, bro.
Right.
You know, Tari Eason, Cam Whitmore, and Amen Thompson coming off your bench. That don't even count. They re-signed Holiday for 2 years. Holiday was solid. You got Reed Shepard, who's been looking surprising the hell out of me in the summer league.
Yeah, too.
We're going to give him some props though in a minute. We're going to give you a shine, Reed. And your brother, Steven Adams, is coming. So at the end of the day, this could be one of the deepest teams in the league. Now, you trade Durant, you trade for Durant, the mindset is we trying to win now.
Yes.
To like get championship level now. But that don't guarantee that, man. Durant should have came here before he went to Golden State.
Yeah.
When he left OKC, when he was getting ready, he should have came here then. 2 things would have happened. He wouldn't have got all the backlash that he still gets to this day for jumping ship and going to the team that beat him. And number 2, we would have beat Golden State and won the championship.
That's it.
You know, and nobody would be downplaying his rings like they do right now. So, still a great player, but I ain't giving up my future for him.
Right, it's just too much to give up to get a player of his caliber here.
Still a great player.
And the Rockets have too much promise, too much on the up and up, man, to sacrifice that.
No doubt.
But, that brings us into the Summer League.
Yeah.
I know we've been starving to watch basketball. This has been great, you know. Let alone what the Rockets have put out there. Cam Whitmore looks like a man amongst little boys.
Right. He is. He shouldn't even be in the summer
right,
league.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like he's going to get 2 or 3 innings. They did. I see why.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
why is he even playing?
Yeah.
He's just making it look ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yes, Reed Shepherd. I could ramble off a bunch of expletives or expletives. I don't know how to pronounce it, but wow. The first word that comes to mind is polished. One of the first things I saw that jumped off the court, this dude got a 15-footer pull up like the laws, man.
Right.
16, 17 feet.
Right.
Yeah, everybody's clouting him 3-point shooting and his playmaking. This dude is so polished, man. You see, if you need a little daylight, he's pulling up 15-foot, 17-foot from the wing. He's got a turnaround. He's got he's a great playmaker, right? I didn't know this about him either. And his defense, right? He's leap years above most rookies. Just staying in front of somebody, right? Yeah. They might have stole the draft again, Kay. I mean, Cam last year.
Raphael Stone has turned out to be one of the best evaluators of talents and scout of talents as far as drafting is concerned. Like I said, he's the opposite. Daryl Morey was more of a piece guys together all in the league and try to win now, trades and all that. That was his skill. This dude, Raphael Stone, I'm still waiting to try to think back what draft pick he got wrong since he been in that spot. Because you think all the guys we just named are guys that organically picked from the organization. Reed Shepherd, the word you just used, polished, is the best word to describe it. Y'all know me. I was like, nah, man. Cause I felt like, and I still feel like this is a weak draft overall. Cause we'll get to the number 1 pick and how bad he looking in the summer league.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I have to say this. And when you say you didn't know, I didn't know either. And I think again, it's like the trailer to a movie. It's the way they marketed him, right? He was coming as some niche 3-point shooter. Right, he started 50% from behind.
Yeah, 52.
Well, that's what we thought we were getting. We're getting some specialists, like Steve, another Steve Novak. Well, he was taller, right?
Yeah.
But what you're saying is so much more to him that was not advertised.
Yeah, he got some stuff. He got the little floater. He got handled. I seen him hit somebody with a hezo, and then
when he puts his hand up.
And he finished with the floater, and the playmaking. He knows how he appears to know how to run an offense to where he can get guys shots, and you can't go under screen on him. You got to go over that because any room he gets is gone. You dead. And he's shooting logo threes. I was like, well, man, he's shooting 52%. That's in college. What are you gonna do in the pro? I can shoot from the college line. But he's shown that he can shoot from those logo threes, as they call them now. So it's gonna be interesting to see because we're coming in basically now with signing of Aaron Holiday. You're coming in with 4 point guards now. Because even though a man can kind of be moved around, but now you got 4 point guards, and they can go small. And what's going to help Reed Shepherd in terms, I don't know how many minutes he's looking at getting the game, but his catch and shoot is the real deal. And that's one of the biggest problems that the Rockets have. Just when a guy does penetrate, whip it out, we don't have guys that can boop and go straight up. And he's a guy who fits that along with, to a lesser degree, Jabari. So, needs shooting, man. You got to have better shooting.
Yeah, man, he's way more than we expected. Far as the rest of the summer league go, you've been watching any of the games. He's watching the number 1 pick and the number 2 pick, and they played a game against each other. I wasn't all that impressed, to tell you the truth, man. Reed outshined both of those players. I'm gonna
say this here. As far as Alex Sarr goes, and even the second pick, Ricochet, to a degree, they need to be thanking the Lord that Bronny James is in the summer league, because all the attention is on Bronny and how bad he's playing to where you're not even really hearing a lot of people talk about how bad the number one pick looks. He had a game where he went 0 for 15, in one game. Now, this is a 7'1" guy, 7'7", whatever he is. It's no universe where a guy that's 7 feet tall should take 15 shots in a game and not make one. Because you're going to get a tip in, you're going to catch an alley-oop, something going to happen. If you're a perimeter guy, maybe. So, yeah, he's been looking bad in terms of his shooting percentage, but I think, you can't get no worse. He'll get better, but Bronny James is the reason why they not killing this dude right now, because Bronny is, of course, he's struggling, and a lot of people that was already on the train to just really over-scrutinize and shoot that whole thing down, they loving it. And to me, man, it's kind of messed up, man, because if y'all hate LeBron James, you don't like LeBron James, okay, cool, that's your right. But now they have passed the hate down to his generation, like, don't be mad at Bronny because you don't like his daddy, man. Right. So now it's like you looking for this young man to fail and all that. That's not a cool way to really view basketball, in my opinion. Is he on that level? No. But let's not forget he the 55th pick for a reason now. You number 55, bro. Yeah, what you expect? Because LeBron, your daddy, he going to come out averaging. No, he's 55th pick. So. But if I'm sorry, I'm like, thank you, Bronny. Appreciate it.
And I'm going to be brought up Bronny because I wanted to talk about Bronny, and I want to be fair to Bronny. I feel all this negative criticism even before he played his first game. Yeah. And I was actually talking to my nephew about this because he was like, oh, Bronny sucks and this and that. I was like, well, there's been players, because of his size, his specialties, whatnot, he's been criticized. He should have been drafted. But I want to point out, because I went and looked it up, Mike James, who played for the Rockets,
right,
sort of the same size as Bronny, maybe a little smaller, was one of the only players in NBA history to average 20 points a game with the Timberwolves and was not drafted, right? Yeah. There have been examples of players who weren't even drafted who have made an impact in this league for somewhere. What I'm trying to be fair is he might find his niche, and one of that is a defense.
That's what it got to be.
In a couple of games, he got a couple steals. He gets in the passing lanes, right? He can stay in front of people. But my concern is, dude, you can't be shooting air balls from the coffin corner, man. Yeah. It got to be defense because, like Mike James. Mike James was a natural born scorer. Mike James got buckets. You had other guys. I can remember guys like won a ring too, by the way, with
the Pistons.
Yes.
Yeah. Earl Boykins was 5'7",
right?
But he could score like crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I think scorers are born. Now you got guys that can develop their game to where they can become respectable as scorers. Where it's like my shot wasn't all that good. Now I worked on it. Now when you kick it to me, you can't leave me in that corner. I can make that shot, and I think that's the guy he has to beat. But I said this before. Bronny got to look at a guy like, in my opinion, like a Pat Beverly guy and say, when I get on the court, early Pat Beverly, when he got with the Rockets, scoring is not even on my mind. I'm not even thinking about trying to score. My mind frame is picking up these guards 94 feet, hustling, harassing, diving for the ball, saving the ball, taking a charge. That got to be his game, running. If I can get in these passes, if I can get in the lane while we running, I can get some layups, dunks, or whatever, or create when I can. Don't come in there thinking, because a lot of people that don't know basketball, they're looking at the scoring. They're looking at, he only hit 2 points, and he's 0 for 50, he haven't made a three, and that's cool. But at the end of the day, if he develops the other parts of his game, he gonna be fine. It ain't no lack of scoring in the NBA on any team. Guys can score, but it's always a need for that what they call it, that utility, that junkyard dog type of dude. Every team need a dude like that. So he need to focus on that, man, while he's working on his game. Because he do got to work on it, but he can play, man. He can play ball if he just come out there to play defense, like you said, and hustle and be a dog out there, man.
And again, just being fair.
Yeah.
Van Fleet was not drafted.
Wasn't drafted, yeah.
He's won a ring above both leagues and the D League, I believe. He's an all-star.
Been an all-star, yeah.
I mean, it can happen, man.
You have to work on your game. Just like you got to work on your game. You got to improve. You got to turn your weaknesses into your strengths. So if he's saying, well, man, but also too, and it's gonna probably be what I'm about to say is gonna be harder for him, maybe harder for him than actually improving his game. He got to block out the noise and not let himself get caught up under the pressure of I'm LeBron James' son. Spotlight gonna be on me. The first game the Lakers play, and when he comes on the court with his dad at the same time, man, it's probably gonna be people who never watched basketball in their life tuning in just to see that. So it's a lot of pressure that he's gonna be under, a lot of scrutiny. That microscope is gonna be on him. Just play. If I knew him, I would just say, man, just go out there and play, and just act like you at the park or something, man. Because the first time he missed a layup, he trash, he shouldn't be in. I told y'all he shouldn't be in the league. Like, I've seen Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins miss a dunk before it happens.
The crowd starts chanting, "You are not your daddy."
Yeah, on the road, man, that's a good point.
They're gonna go after him,
on the
man.
road. That's why he gotta block the noise out, because when he goes on the road, because his daddy still get it.
Yeah, he's gonna be on the court with us supposedly.
Yeah. So man, just imagine, man. So I think the mental stuff is gonna be more of the challenge than actually playing the game, because LeBron got to kind of get in his ear like, look, this is the big boy league now. Right. These people in the stands, they're gonna be talking crazy, they're gonna be disrespectful, they're gonna cuss you out. Focus on playing the game. Focus on playing. Don't get caught up with the media gonna say, because you got part media who's just there to do their job, but you got another side, the dark side of the media, who are envious and hateful that this man has accumulated enough power to put his son in like that. So it's a lot he got to deal with. But through it all, as bad as he looking, I have not seen one time where he seemed to like lose his composure, where you can see in his face. So, maybe he got his head on the way he good,
And this will probably come full circle to the end of the show. We go into oddities. But to be fair again, how do we know this man ain't going to be one of the greatest coaches of all time? He's getting hands-on, on the court, experience, learning the game, learning the speed of the game, the X, the O's. How do we know he's training right now, 30 years from now, to be some coach that win 10 rings, right? Because
we don't.
He's got that IQ.
Bronny might play 5-6 years and say, I'm good, or whatever. But I think one of the main things that LeBron is doing that's getting overlooked, what he's doing for his son, he is setting his son up from a business perspective. Right. Independent to say, well, look, I'm getting you. You got your own contract now. You got your own money now. You got your own. You had NIL in college and all that. He's kind of laying a base for his son to boss up on his own. Right. And I think that's the part that's really getting overlooked, and that's what he's supposed to do. That's exactly what he's supposed to be doing. The basketball, of course, will amplify any other business stuff, but I think that's what's getting overlooked in this whole thing. He gonna be all right. We don't know how long he gonna play. We don't know how good he is. But if he find his lane and find his game in the NBA, he'll be fine, man. He'll be all right.
Yeah, well, I hope he'll be all right. He should be all right. We'll see how it all plays out.
Don't worry about scoring, Bronny. Just hustle. I don't even know if you're gonna see this.
Stay in the passing lanes, man.
Just hustle. Just play hard, man. Yeah.
Well, still on NBA news, but now we're going to shift to the men's Olympic squad. You've been watching any of that, which is, again, I said earlier, men amongst the boys.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt.
Oh, wow. It's always something about these world games, right? The U.S. team has this dynamic gear or two above usually the other teams,
Usually. It ain't always been the case.
Been that way.
They took some L's before, but Yeah, but now in this particular case, this gonna probably be a
Another
easy
walk,
run.
cakewalk, probably. Yeah.
They got the right people on the squad.
They played today actually, and they won. They beat Serbia handily.
Yeah, I saw that. The Joker was out there like, man,
where's
Jamal Murray at? The Joker like, man, I'm down, I'm riding for my country, but this guy sucks next to me right now. Yeah.
But yeah, Reggie, run that a little bit. We can watch a couple of these little highlights. I don't know if you've seen any of these from today.
Nah, I haven't seen them. Yeah. I saw the little box. I know Steph went off.
Yeah, he had some big threes. Yeah. I think he had 18 in the game.
Good D.
Yeah, there goes Steph already.
Yeah. And see, what people don't this is Steph's first Olympics.
You can fast forward, Reggie, a couple. Yeah, that's true.
He's never done the Olympics before, so this is new to him. That's the only thing he don't have on his resume.
Reg.
Yeah. He got everything but a gold medal on his resume.
Anthony Davis played a good game too. He was swatting. There goes one there.
Yeah, he's supposed to, man.
He had himself a block party. I think 6 in the game. He made a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Cakewalk City.
Yeah. One of the biggest stories coming out of the whole Olympic thing is how when Kawhi Leonard withdrew from the Olympic team.
Well, they announced LeBron was a captain and then he walked. Was that a coincidence?
I don't know. They tried to say that, well, we want to try to preserve his body and all that. But what happened was when that decision was made, then the question became, well, who gonna replace Kawhi? Who gonna play? And the first thought was, well, bring in Jaylen Brown.
Right.
This guy's the Eastern Conference Finals MVP and the Finals MVP. Second biggest at the time, biggest contract in the history of the league, and they still didn't pick him. They brought in his other teammate Derek White to face him. So a lot of controversy was centered around that. What you think about Jaylen Brown getting snubbed on the Olympic team, and he been one of the top players in the league the last couple of years?
I'm kind of confused too because they went and got another Celtic.
Yeah.
I don't understand if they pushed him aside and went and got
They said that they didn't necessarily need all-star players. They needed team guys, plug-in guys that could play a role. Everybody needs to score. But what was Kawhi Leonard? Kawhi Leonard is an all-star, superstar, 2-time Finals MVP, a guy who gets buckets. He's a team guy now. But Kawhi Leonard and Jaylen Brown are similar type players. If you take Kawhi's, what I would call his prime, and you compare the two, the height and size and everything. So it's been rumored, a lot of cats have been saying, that Jaylen Brown is not really a guy that people like to really deal with or whatever. But I don't know I never heard any players say that.
Right.
But to your point, to snub a star, the Finals MVP, that's unheard of. That a Finals MVP who had at that time highest paid player in the league in an Olympic year wouldn't make the Olympic team. That's weird to me, but.
And again, to compound the issue, to go get another one of his teammates instead of him.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and they're. Looks like I said, it's gonna be.
They gonna win it anyway. It don't matter. They could have added me.
Well, whoever beats them be probably one of the greatest upsets in Olympic history.
It could happen, but I think this time they got the pieces. Now, what I will say, they got the pieces because.
And who is that? Would you say Canada?
Canada got Shea Gildas, you got Jamal Murray, you got Dylan Brooks,
Villain.
But that's not gonna get it because what the U.S. has this go round that they really haven't had since you go back to the original Dream Team. They got size.
Yes.
Because Embiid is now playing on the U.S. team because he got U.S. citizenship now.
Yep.
So now you got this big 7'2" center to sit on side of Anthony Davis and Bam, which traditionally they would have an Anthony Davis. They would have a Bam Adebayo, 6'8", 6'9", playing center type of guy, but they didn't have that 7'7" guy. Embiid covers that ground defensively and a skilled guy that can score. So I don't think they're gonna have no problems this go around. The perimeter speaks for us. Durant ain't even played yet.
No.
So you got Anthony Edwards, LeBron, Steph, Durant. It's a different ball game, man. Devin Booker, all those guys, they should win easy.
And I believe we have a few more games, what they're calling a showcase.
The exhibition game, yeah.
Until the real games start. I think it's towards the end of this month.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting. But here is a side story, right? The NBA, the Olympics are now going to have 3-on-3 half-court Olympic men's and women's games.
Oh, so that means I can play?
That's right. And let's pull that up, Reggie. Have you seen the roster? Very interesting members of the 3-on-3 USA.
Yeah, let me see.
Basketball. I was quite surprised. One of them, I guess I was kind of rude. Go ahead, Reggie, that one. Don't close it.
Yeah, I want to see what they got going on with this stuff, because I thought they had 3-on-3 at the last Olympics.
Did they? I don't remember. Maybe
I
they
ain't got.
did.
I don't have to be
it's a
right.
New development.
I don't have to be right, but I thought that they did.
Right, the second one. Clicked on the second one. All right. Here's your team.
All right, let me see.
Let's start it from the beginning.
Canyon Barry. Hold on, he's
this
in
is
the
one
Barry
of the Barry
bloodline?
boys, and he shoots his free throws underhand. I'll show you that in a minute.
So he's one of the
I
Barry
think he's
boys,
the
his boys.
grandkid.
Okay, yeah.
I think.
I know Rick ain't still dropping
It's
them.
either Brent or one of them's kid.
Yeah, John or Brent, huh?
Another one is the Jimmer.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Fredette.
Yeah.
I don't know.
These are the big men he got in here.
Okay. So how many players? I know it's 3-on-3 on the court. So would they keep like 4 or 5 guys?
5 or 6 squad, maybe.
Okay. They got a shooter. Well, Jim is a shooter too, though.
Yeah.
They keeping it all the way, G. They playing outside.
And they play something else too. Stop it, Reg. Because I know you're very familiar playing half-court basketball, let alone 3-on-3.
Yeah.
When you make a basket, the opposing team has to get the ball.
Yeah, it's not make it, take it.
And take it back behind the line.
Yeah, it's not make it, take it. Yeah.
Right, correct.
They run it like
but they don't take it out of bounds.
in a half-court set.
They catch it inbounds.
Yeah.
The made shot, and then run it back over the line to.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's very strange. I thought it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Usually it's make it, take it, or the opposite, but usually every possession you're taking out of bounds, where here is, like if I make a shot, you're on the opposing team, you get the ball that's coming out of the basket, still in bounds, and you run it back across the three-point line to take it.
Oh, it's like you're taking it behind even though the bucket was made.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's
it's a little different nuance to a 3-on-3 game.
But I guess it's kind of like they trying to simulate as much as they can the whole court game. So, like, if you score in whole court and the ball goes through the net, they immediately inbound it and they go. So that's probably what they're trying to simulate by doing it like that.
But the next clip, Reg, the Barry boy, the next one is one of those. Yeah, try that one. Rewind it.
I know Rick is, like, loving that.
Yeah, rewind it.
And it's looking like they say he never misses. But you know what they say.
There you go. Now, is this something you've ever experimented with you personally?
The only way I do that is I'm playing horse. That's it. But you know what?
I can never do it. I think it's harder to shoot.
They say certain things skip a generation. Because I've seen John Barry and Brent Barry in interviews laughing and joking about how Rick used to try to tell you, shoot him underhand. They're like, man, I'm not. He's like, I ain't gonna be embarrassed in school shooting. But things skip a generation, man. And the grandson, apparently, he took to it because he didn't start doing this on his own. Right. This had to be influenced by Rick. So,
interesting little nuance.
Yeah.
Don't you like this?
Man, look, man, long as it goes in, whatever your strategy is to make your free throws.
Keep the Barry name alive, huh?
Yeah.
And I think that's gonna. You can stop that, Red. That's gonna end up the NBA or the basketball section unless there's something I missed. I know there's so much
man,
to catch up
I
on.
can't think of nothing, man.
Well, we're going on to the NFL and football, and one of the tragic stories that we lost Jacoby Jones, who was a once Houston Texans receiver, special teams returner.
Yeah.
And went on to the Baltimore Ravens to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If not, Super Bowl MVP, I mean, I'm going a little too far.
I don't remember.
But he
MVP.
was an impact player in that Super Bowl game.
Right.
But he was 40 years old, and I don't think it's come out how yet. Maybe it was a heart. We don't know, I think.
Yeah. I haven't heard anything about the cause, man. But somebody said it was in his sleep. But I'm not sure on confirming on that either. But what stood out to me the most, other than the shock when I saw it, was like 40 years old, man. Like 40 years old. It just goes to show again how young those ages are. Anytime you hear about somebody passing away in their 30s and now like in their 40s, it's like, man, it's just, to me, that's so super, super young because Tom Brady was still playing at 40, 41, 42 years old, you know. Now,
LeBron is playing
still
at 40
playing
years
at
old.
40 years old. So it's not that old, especially in today's games because of the so-called technology of how athletes are really more taking better care of themselves. So, you know, it was just a surprise, you know, for that to happen. But we don't know the details. But, you know, shout out to Jacoby and his family, man, because he was a Texan. You know, I remember him being here. You know, I was a fan of Jacoby. And then when he went and won the Super Bowl, I was happy for him.
Right.
I was like, okay, well, you know, somebody that played for us got him one. So
he was one of those players, that trope player of always, it's always wins when they leave us, you know. And he was one of those players, you know.
Yeah, that's been happening for years. but you know, he contributed, man. He contributed to that Super Bowl, and he got that on his legacy. I don't know what the status is in terms of, you know, if he got children or how many, but I know he's at that young age. He's survived by a lot of people, so I know they got to be tough on his family, man. Straight up.
And speaking of a tribute to people have passed, so maybe we left the NBA section a little too fast.
Yeah.
Jelly Bean Bryant.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant's father has also passed at the age of 69. And I know very little, but I have heard rumors, maybe you've heard more of this, that Kobe and his parents were a little...
it's been rumored that they was fractured towards the end from what I hear.
Right.
But, you know, in situations like that, you hope that the families can put that type of stuff to the side. You know, my hope would have been that they could put that to the side even when Kobe passed, you know, because again, you got Joe Bryant, another athlete that got ties to Houston. He played for the Rockets for a while.
Yes,
so
sir.
you got Jacoby that played for the Texans, and then Jelly Bean Bryant that played for the Rockets for a little while. So when a situation like that happens, and the father is lesser known than the son, because you have Steph Curry, but you have to be old enough to remember who Dale Curry was. So you got Kobe Bryant, you got to be old enough to remember who Jelly Bean. All these great players, they came from somebody. They came from somewhere, and this was not a social media age where we automatically knew who was who. But you always pay reverence to the person who gave us the person.
Right.
And, you know, so Jelly Bean, man, and he coached. You know, he coached in the WNBA for a little while. A lot of people don't remember that. So at 69 years old, that's not super, super, super young, but it's not super, super old either. So whatever the case is, same thing, condolences to them and their family, man, and just been a tough week, you know, for Houston athletes and just great players who made a way for themselves in both leagues, man.
And again, it's tragic Kobe's passed, you know.
Yeah.
But it's without a doubt the impact that his father had on Kobe's life, career. Yeah. Who knows what else we'll maybe never know.
There's no Kobe without him.
Right.
And his mother, of course. You know, it's no Kobe. It's like, so that's an example of how all of these relationships that people may have, that some of y'all watching may have had with y'all parents, whatever, do your best to fix that, because Jelly Bean is gone now, but we can't lose sight of the fact that he was one of the people that have been many in life that have had to bury their own child, which is never supposed to be the order of things. So he had to bury his own child, and now, 4 years later, he's gone, and his grandchild.
I was about to say that. It's awful to say that.
Yeah. So that's a tough thing, and so and if the relationship was fractured, just imagine how that got to feel. Right. Like people, you hear stories about people, they get into an argument with somebody, and then that person's gone, one of the people, and you can never clean that up. So, shout out to Jelly Bean, man. He played for Philly, played with Dr. J and those guys, played in the finals in '77 against Portland. He was on that squad, man. He was the reason why Kobe spoke fluent Italian and different language, because he played overseas after he left the NBA, and he took his family over there. So a lot of the culture and all that Kobe got, and that it came from his dad. He the seed of that. So people give Michael Jordan a lot of the credit for how Kobe turned out, which rightfully so, because he studied Mike. But you still got to get them genes from somewhere. Mike didn't give him them genetics where he could do all that stuff. That came from his dad. So we got to give props like that.
Well, rest in peace, Jelly Bean Bryant, man.
doubt.
And again, maybe we got out of basketball too soon. We kind of went over the WNBA like a speed bump, right? We just went on. Yeah. But we've been talking about them in the past. As far as, I don't know if you've been watching the games. I've been watching some of the games. And a lot of people have. Yeah. And that's one of the things I wanted to point out. Did you see the All-Star voting numbers? They're like
I haven't.
6, 7, 8 times normal. Yeah. Like, I should have had Reggie bring this up, but you can look this up. Yeah. It's like say Asia Wilson last year, she got 15,000 votes. Yeah. Now this year she got 200,000 votes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Just astronomical, exponentially more. Right. Let alone, of course, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, these new players getting all the votes, but it's attracting a whole new audience, a whole new demographic. Yeah. And like I was telling them earlier, it's living up to the hype. Yeah. I was watching the games, like Caitlin Clark, she's getting 12 assists a game. Angel Reese, she's getting 15 boards a game. She set all these records. Like, it's one thing if it ain't living up to the hype, but it is, and they're good games.
That whole dynamic between those two rookies is bringing attention to the game, making the game more popular. So again, and we spoke about this a couple of weeks back, whatever is going to popularize that game, those ladies should embrace it. They got to embrace it, because it's not just Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. I'm discovering a whole lot. There's a teammate of Angel Reese named Kennedy Carter, the one who
the guard. She's incredible.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then you still got the mainstays like you said, the Asia Wilsons and those types of players who I saw today. Asia Wilson averaging like 27 and 12.
Her numbers are incredible.
Yeah, she clearly the best player in the league. So
with 4 or 5 blocks a game.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, that popularity, they got to ride that wave. And if there's a rivalry that gets created in that league because of that, man, everybody got to eat off of it the same way the NBA players ate off of Magic and Bird rivalry back in the early 80s. So, I always have been a fan of WNBA because we have a vantage point that a lot of people may not have, because when the WNBA first started, our team was winning 4 years in a row. So we were like, we watching this. Right. But even after that time had passed, even long after the Comets wasn't even in Houston no more, I was still a fan because I was watching Maya Moore. I was watching all these different players that were hooping Hose Claw and all the way up to the present. Right. So they have always, in my opinion, played just as hard or harder as the men. They give full effort every night. It's just the marketability wasn't there, and other elements that I won't mention that took away from the game. But they better ride it now because they getting modeling gigs, they getting endorsements, they doing everything that they can, and sadly the league is still losing money. But hopefully, if the casuals can become non-casual, can become core, they might have a shot.
Well, give us some thought on the nicknames, right? Just to
Yeah.
I don't know if you have, but Angel's already got one. She wants to be called the Black Barbie. I don't know if you've heard of this. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, we gonna find another one.
For Caitlin, I want to run this by you, right? Cash
Clark. Katie
entendre,
Cash.
right?
Katie Cash. Cash Clark.
Yeah, that's self-explanatory. Huh? She's making the league money, and plus,
Yeah.
she's playmaker. She makes points. You know what I'm saying? She can light it up.
Yeah, man. I mean, when we talked about that a while back, that was like a revelation, man. It's like these ladies need nicknames, man, to sell themselves in the market and sell the league, in my opinion. So,
How about Asia Wilson? I came up with platinum.
Yeah. I saw one time she had like a little wig, a little platinum wig, looking like Storm around it.
You know, she has a monument already, a statue already of her in front of the stadium. Do you know this?
The current stadium she playing in?
She's 27 years old, and they already have a statue of her.
What do they have? 2 championships or 1?
1 or 2.
Yeah. I mean, look. If I was gonna get the statue anyway when I retire, go on give it to me now.
Right.
Go on give it to me now. If I was gonna get it anyway, yeah, she by far the best player in the league, man.
Oh yeah, those numbers. Whoa.
So they just gotta keep on pushing the envelope in terms of marketing that league, because a lot of people, I read comment sections all the time, and man, they get so much hate. People be talking. They hate the WNBA, and then now with the racial divide with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, you got white folks, black folks taking sides to shoot slugs at the other one and all that. So it's like, man, market the game, push the game. Don't get caught up in that other stuff. It's gonna happen because it happened with Bird and Magic. But at the end of the day, market the game, market those other players too. Don't forget about the other players, because 2 can kind of carry it, but you're gonna still need those peripheral pieces that can help pull a load as well,
They're heading in the right direction. I think the wins at their sales, let alone the All-Star game hasn't started yet, I don't think. And then
I think they're getting ready to take a break because the Olympics goes right through their season. So they're getting ready to the league is probably going to take about a good month off. So the other players are just gonna be kind of just chilling while Asia and all those other ones go to the Olympics. So that's kind of weird, but it is what it is.
And I have not looked up the 3-on-3 women's team roster, but maybe I can save that for the next show. Huh?
Man, I got an idea. They need to come out with the old school. They need to have the old school Olympic basketball, man. Bring back some of the old school cats, man. Huh? Yeah, for sure, man. Bring Magic and them back to the Olympics, man. I'm just joking.
But the NFL we covered slightly over Jacoby Jones again. We're about a month away, I believe, from I just activated my 2 fantasy leagues, so that tells you one thing. They're saddling up. Yeah. I think the Texans did pick up another receiver today. Yeah. Man, they have a bounty of. Still good. They now have a bounty of receivers ready. Yeah. And again, I went over this before, man. The more the merrier, man. You're going to need receivers coming in the weeks.
Hey, man, look.
10, 11, they get hurt, man. You know
when I saw this yesterday or today, Brandon Ayuk for the 49ers is talking about he wants to be traded. Now, of course, we're not going to get Brandon. We just got Stephon Diggs. But like you said, when you said the more the merrier, hey, man, that's going to shake things up, because that's going to be a big hit if San Francisco honors his request to get traded and they lose a weapon like that, man. That's going to hit them hard in terms of them trying to stay up and make their run. But I don't know what's going on and why he's upset now, but he wants out Frisco. He's trying to get gone.
And of noteworthy, I don't know if you heard this news of the Minnesota Vikings rookie, got in a car accident, a high speed. They were racing. 3 of them died.
Yeah,
Very tragic.
Yeah.
Man, car debris all over the highway. It was
man.
not a pretty sight. But the Vikings, man, they got a lot of challenges ahead of them, let alone that they lost promising pick like Kyrie Jackson, I believe it was. I have to look that up.
And that's tough, man. I mean, it's like it's just too much at stake, too much on the line. You know, y'all young people, man, y'all got to, really everybody.
I think they just traded a
man.
player to us.
Yeah.
A defensive back,
Really?
if I'm not mistaken, the Vikings.
A few weeks ago.
I think this is a few months ago.
Daniil Hunter.
Might have been, yes.
Yeah. That's a big pickup.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just showing the adjustments the Vikings are going to make this year.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's talk about these Astros, man.
Yes, sir.
From the last time we was here to now, these dudes, I looked up these dudes like
coin, huh?
1 or 2 games out.
1 game out of first.
Come on, man.
The Mariners got it.
Yeah, they made.
They got 50 wins.
Yeah.
So 3 of them were all-stars. 1 of them only played, I believe. Altuve chose not to play. Alvarez played.
Tucker made it too, right?
Tucker made it, but he's been on the injury.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
But they have turned things around. I think the best record in the league in the last month.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
With the Mets.
It's pitching, man. Baseball is real simple when you understand that pitching is what wins championships in baseball. You know, you got to have a rotation that gives you an opportunity to win every game. You know, if you got a guy coming out there and he getting bombed in the first or second inning, and now you got to stretch your bullpen, go deep. Yeah, and he's part of the turnaround because
he is. Yes, sir. Yes,
he's put together like a nice little run of quality starts since he started off getting just shelled in the beginning of the season. So Hunter Brown, the other young guy, Spencer Arrighetti, been up and down, but he's had some moments where so you factor that in, and Verlander haven't even been pitching. Mm-hmm. So between Blanco, Fromber, Hunter Brown, and a couple other guys that they've been playing in by committee, that's what's turning it around. It's the pitching, man.
And an argument could be made. Blanco, Benny Blanco from the Bronx.
Yeah, and then
could have made the All-Star team.
Yeah, because I was just about to ask.
Man.
Yeah. Well, you know how that goes.
Got the numbers.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I would rather for him to stay focused on the second half of the season. Now, don't even get the big head by making it to the All-Star team. You know, just stay focused because this gonna be a serious race going down that stretch. It's gonna be a strong, tight race, and some of these series that they're going to have to play, these head-to-heads against the people that the Seattles and whatever. That's going to be a tough thing. Cause a month ago, I'm like, they done. The run is over.
Plus, rumors are swirling that they go out and get a big name first baseman.
Yeah.
Maybe a Cody Bellinger. I've also heard rumors of a Pete Alonso.
Vlad Guerrero.
Yes.
Junior, guys like that. Yeah, I mean, that's been circulating, swirling. But again, like we talked about the Rockets earlier, it's all about what you want to give up to get that. You know, and then some of the names have been like, you know, Bregman and guys like that. So you don't get a guy that caliber, any of the guys that you name, and not have to give up one of those guys that's out there playing every day because the Astros farm system is not what it used to be. So back in the days, you could probably say, we'll give you a couple of these little prospects and we can keep what we currently have, bring this guy in, and it is what it is. But now that farm system is so depleted to where you wouldn't be able to offer a team anything except somebody that's already on your current roster. Yeah.
And then you mentioned the farm system. The draft just passed too, and they went and got I think their first round pick. The Astros went and got a catcher.
Yeah.
Which, hey, I'm all for that, man. The catcher's arguably one of the hardest positions on the team, you know.
Yeah.
And they've always done very well at finding whoever can fit that position.
Yeah. The Astros only dropped the ball one time during this era, and people don't talk about it a lot because when they had an open tryout years ago, and they told Altuve, "Nah, we don't need you." They sent him home, and his dad said, "Hey man, go back tomorrow."
Yeah.
That's like you working at Walmart and they fire you. You still come back tomorrow and then try to clock in. He came back the next day and then it's like, oh no, we almost made a big mistake.
Yeah.
So, but outside of that, yeah, they built this team up organically through the draft and through the farm system, and you see what the result is, you know.
And they lead the league in batting percentage.
Yeah, yeah.
So man, they're hitting.
They got killers
on
up and
fire,
down that
man.
line. That lineup, if they ever get on at the same time, oh man.
And that's part of figuring the lineup out
Yeah.
too. That this new manager he's still he's still working with or whatever.
Yeah, no doubt.
But man, playoffs is on our horizon. Hell, who knows? Maybe the World Series again. We are so spoiled as
once you
Astros
get
fans.
in, you got a shot in baseball, boy.
And they got that experience.
They still doing 3 out of 5 in the first round in baseball. People didn't know that. You know, in the NBA they moved to the 4 out of 7, but it's 3 out of 5. So you get in early, man, catch one of these teams, get hot, bling bling. But the next thing you know, you in the division series, and who knows after that, man? Anything can happen.
Awesome, man. So I think that's pretty much for the MLB. Unless you had something else as far as
Nah.
goes. I guess we can round out with some oddities here. Reggie found this story. It was so unbelievable and that's what's her name, Reg?
The name is
Antoinette Tony Harris. Have you heard about this?
No.
Supposedly there was a Super Bowl commercial a couple years back talking about this feat. This is the first woman to get a full 4-year, full paid scholarship to a Division III college, playing football with men.
Man.
I went and looked up her quote, and I hang the quotes very loosely. Highlight reel. Run that beautiful bean footage there, Reg. She's at safety.
Okay, so that's her in the white right there.
I think she's 5'7", about $160 wet.
Yeah.
And of course, the comment section is so savage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like one of the comments was, "This whose 4-year scholarship did she steal from this political stunt?" Right? Of course, hold on.
Yeah.
And most of this highlight reel is practice squad footage, right?
Okay. That one we just saw, that was game footage though.
This
right?
is practice squad right here.
Okay, I can tell this is practice, yeah.
But I try to see the silver lining. What if she becomes one of the greatest coaches? Again, we come full circles here. She's getting on-the-job experience. Maybe she's some fun. Maybe she can read defenses like nobody's ever seen before. You know what I'm saying? Maybe coaches see something we don't, right?
Right.
Again, I want to be fair here. Now, when you see this kickoff and she's barely trying to get into the frame, you know, or they tackle somebody and she runs in and
kind of
jumps on the pile.
kind of gets a little action at the end, like I helped. Yeah.
But she's making history. So,
What I
I don't know if
see,
you heard this story
no,
yet.
I never heard. I see it's 5 years old, which means that she's probably already out of school.
Right.
She's probably already done. Now the thing is, women don't have anywhere that they can go. It's not like basketball. They don't have anywhere they can go once it's over with, you know. And I'm not an advocate of having a woman out there playing a sport like football with dudes. I'm not an advocate of that. I'm not big on that at all. But what I will say is me watching this kind of gives me another thought in terms of if a woman is playing with guys, the best thing to do is what they're doing is to have her on defense.
Yeah.
See, because I think she runs a lesser risk of injury if she's playing defense than if she was playing offense. Because defense, you're aggressive, you applying the hits. If somehow she was playing receiver, coming across the middle, or
Right.
or kick returners, you know, they knock her head off. So, yeah, but this is 5 years old. She's probably done. I would be interested to know
This is
what
called
she's
an
doing
effort.
now. Yeah, I'd like to know what she's doing now. We need to do a follow-up on her to find out where she is now, you know.
Well, that was too good of a sports
Man,
story.
she put her phone number up there. Let's call her right now and see. Like, hey, Antoinette, this you?
You live.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
man.
that's interesting.
So, and I guess,
Hey, keep that number, man. We might could Zoom her one night.
Right, yeah.
You never know. Get her on the show. No doubt about it.
And one of them were wound out as the Houston Heartbreaks, huh?
Yeah, what we got, man? I'm scared.
Ready for this?
Yeah, I'm scared.
U of H versus North Carolina State.
Oh man.
The Wolf Pack.
Oh
If
man.
anything,
Come on, man.
the Jimmy V, right? The fallout after that, and him having cancer, and never give up, never give up, never give up, right?
Yeah,
At
but
the cost of Akeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler, Guy V. Lewis. Oh boy! And they, if you will, I'd be honored. Please give us a recap of this game, especially the first half.
let me break it down because, like I say, I'm the old guy on the panel. U of H, Phi Slamma Jamma, man, just one of the most exciting, dynamic college basketball programs ever. Run and gun, alley-oops, everybody dunking all over the place, blowing people out. So they kind of whizzed through the tournament. And for those who might remember, the game before the championship game, they played Louisville. Louisville was supposed to be the challenge, like, this going to be the one right here. And then the thought was, whoever wins out of U of H and Louisville, automatic national championship. Louisville had Rodney McCray and I think those guys at the time. And U of H knocked them off easily. They get to North Carolina State in the championship, and they running. They doing their thing. Guy V. Lewis, man, decides he wants to slow the ball down. He wants to, we got a good lead, we got a cushion. Let's not mess it up. We're going to slow things down, which played right into North Carolina State's hands. And because they couldn't run with Houston. They couldn't run with Clyde and all those guys. And they got back in the game. They slowly got their way back into the game. And by the time it was too late, it was like, okay, now this thing is a game now. These guys' confidence is up. And it was tight. The main play that we always see is the alley-oop, where Lorenzo Charles catches the alley-oop, dunks it in, and Akeem was looking around like, did that count? You know? But the thing that always eats me up more than the alley-oop dunk is Benny Anders almost got the steal. When they inbounded the play, if you ever see it, Benny Anders jumps in the passing lane and gets a hand on the ball and almost steals. If he steals it, that's game. You know, we was up by 1 or 2 or whatever, 1, and that would have changed. But he missed it, and when he missed it, it put him out of position, which gave the shooter a chance to. Even though he shot an air ball, it just gave him that look. Benny Anders, he might have got that look if he'd have stayed in front of him. The guy catches it, air ball. You know, you playing ball, you can't really. Sometimes if you don't anticipate that air ball, you think it's gonna hit the rim and it don't. A guy can catch it real quick and lay it up.
Yes.
That's what happened. He catches it. The air ball basically turned into an alley-oop, and we lose. Heartbreak, man. Tragic. Still hurt to this day, man. I could see Akeem just like sick, just hurting, man. Just yeah. That's Sidney Lowe. I'm looking at. I see it, Sidney Lowe right there. Thurl Bailey, who ended up playing for the Utah Jazz. I remember all them dudes, man.
Right.
That was
what
painful,
a heartbreaker,
bro.
man.
Yeah.
This is and again that squad, the Phi Slamma Jamma.
No way they should have lost to these dudes. No way they should have lost to these dudes. Ever.
But again, the silver lining, if you will, if there is any, Jimmy V and the whole speech about cancer, which he would go on to pass on later, and never give up, and how many millions of dollars they raised for cancer research, but this North Carolina State Wolfpack was the Cinderella team of all, maybe sports history, maybe if I'm exaggerating there. But I think they were a low seed to begin with, and they went all the way.
You know how many people lost money and how many smart people might have made money because somebody may have I'm just gonna make a fluke bet. I'm gonna take North Carolina State, But yeah, it just bad. Rest in peace. But bad coaching by Guy V. Lewis, man. Bad coaching, man. When you got a lead, like, you keep mashing the gas. You don't let up. You don't let up and let the guys come back, man. And to this day, and to me, that's one of the main things, in my opinion, that kept Guy Lewis out of the Hall of Fame for all those years. They finally put him in, but I think, had he won that championship, he would have got in a long time ago because you got so many guys that had only won one, and they got in long before him. But they punished him for blowing that game, man.
Rob Williams was on that team as well, as far as my understanding. Yeah. Milby alumni.
Yeah, it just... I know we're going to show that clip, and y'all will see it, man. I just remember King just looking around like what?
I think Reg just got it up there.
Yeah.
One of those clips. Reg, might be the...
I'm a loke up on that one.
Oh, go to the high walk. We got one more oddity. The tightrope. Nope. There's two more. Okay, that one. Did you see this?
Oh, man, what this dude
This dude set a new record. A tightrope. I don't know if it's a sports, but I know this is some crazy mess.
Man, watch out, man. You got to be kidding me, man.
So there's this line that goes across the sea. This guy, I think he falls once, Eric.
So he got a bungee cord to hold him right if he falls, right? I see him connected to something.
He's got a tether, some type of safety harness.
Bro.
Which I think he does fall one time. He gets back up and finishes. There he goes.
Man, how you get a permit to be allowed to do this?
I think the part that really impresses me, if not the whole thing, but when you're going back up the rope, that has to be tough, man.
Yeah, you're right,
What kind of grip
right.
do you, like you were saying, what kind of shoes he has?
Nah, what kind of feet do he have? His feet are like hands.
And go to the last clip that Eric had brought to our attention. Have you heard about this soccer match recently where the fans, it's the last tab, Reg, were trying to get into the stadium. They were going through the air vents.
I don't want to get into the stadium that bad, bro.
Has there ever been a sporting event that you wanted to get in that bad?
Not that bad. I wanted to get in
the fence.
I wanted to get into the
splits.
NBA final. Yeah, she about to separate herself.
What? Crawling through the air vents. They're jumping over the railing.
Just buy a ticket, man.
This must be the greatest soccer match in mankind's history.
Man, they love soccer, man, more than we love basketball and football. That is football. The crazy part about this is that somebody on the outside somebody's on the outside said, I got an idea, y'all. And they followed behind some dude that came up with this idea. I'm telling you, the dude came up with this idea. They going through the air ducts and all that. Nah, man, you got to be kidding me.
Just so many of them. Like, I understand a few road guys, but it's like a whole crowd of them. Like,
man,
all y'all couldn't get a ticket?
Because everybody follow us, man. I'm the guy that's going to pass by and look at these dummies doing it. What they doing? And keep going.
Turn to the January 6th event. Huh? They got the railing as a ladder.
Now, something happened because they all running away now.
Hang Mike Pence. You saw that?
That's something happened. Somebody got caught or something because you see how they scattered and got out of there that fast like that? There they go. That's what happened. Security came. The word got out because they got a whole brigade of them cats coming. Too late, though. About 10 of them already got in.
All right, man. I think that's going to do it. But we still working on future... Some future guests on the show. Mike Vance still in the works. I don't know if you've talked to anyone maybe recently. Or...
Oh, yeah. We got some people coming up for y'all, so y'all just stay tuned, man. It's going down. And looking forward to it, straight up.
Again, drop a comment, subscribe, share this with somebody, right?
We apologize for being out of pocket, man, but we've been in crisis out here, y'all. Y'all got to bear with us. We got to bear with us, man. You know, we live in hurricane territory, so we're not always able to just film like that. So we got y'all next time. And we couldn't do a Zoom because Doug didn't have no power for like a month. So nah.
I didn't have enough hamster wheels.
Yeah, but nah, it's coming
so
soon.
Until next time, Legends 34, man, we out.
Peace.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
The Houston Astros are world champions for the first time in franchise history.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
This is the Legends 34 Sports Podcast with your hosts, K. Reno and DJ Rec.